Porn is one of those things that's really difficult to navigate around because sex has a lot of shame around it. Now, there's one thing that I've accepted in my mind is that all of us are freaks, bro. Sex is a part of humanity. It's a part of our makeup. And I think that there's a lot of shame around it. There's a lot of misconceptions around it. And it's like no one really has the answer. It can get out of control. It can be controlled. It's such a difficult thing to relate to because like it's awesome, but at the same time it can be overrated. It can be a bit much. It can be too little. And I just want to go into this video because this video is more for the introspective thinker that wants to stop watching porn. And I have a couple notes here that I wrote down of the things that I did myself to get rid of it and move on past it, because I think porn is the biggest self-confidence killer for guys, because at the end of the day, what we're doing when we consume porn is that we're sitting and we're watching someone else do the thing that we wish we were doing that we're watching on screen, right? Now, these are just my thoughts. Feel free to discuss or disagree, but I think this thing can be beaten when you start to deep and understand what's really going on. I'm gonna just start by saying that porn isn't real. These guys are actors. Of course, they're getting their freak on and whatnot. Like, I get it. But at the same time, they're pretty detached from what they're doing. They're basically playing a game on you. They're playing a game on one of your biggest biological needs as a man, that need for sex and intimacy and affection and, being sensual with a woman, right? They're literally using it against you and you don't seem to see it yet. And I get it. Like, who doesn't like to look at some fat cheeks, a beautiful woman? Like, I get these things, but you have to understand it's a game being played. And that's what's killing your self-confidence, because you keep looking at these images in secret and shame and all that stuff. And then when you first pop out in public and see a real beautiful woman or someone that you find attractive, you can't get the job done because you're so used to doing it in shame and secret and locking yourself behind closed doors to watch the porn, right? Again, I don't blame you. Like I said, who doesn't like to see the things that the images that we see when we do watch porn? Like, it's completely normal. You're wired that way. That's how we are as humans. You're a man. You find women attractive. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, don't let this game fool you, because it's really killing your confidence. And it's not letting you be who you want to be and express yourself to the fullest. I can give you all the science and all that stuff of how to get rid of your porn addiction or whatever, but I find that to be a waste of time. Like, it's not about numbers and none of that stuff. It's about a shift within you, a shift in identity, if I put it simply. I don't think religion has anything to do with it. You can pray as much as you want to God and Allah and whatnot to free you of your porn addiction, but at the end of the day, I think it comes down to willpower and, again, a change of identity. You can pray as much as you want, bro, but like I said, I don't blame you. When you see these images on your laptop, on your phone or whatever, like, you can easily get hooked. And it's like you start to restrict yourself, and I think if you start to put religion into it and, restrict yourself, because a lot of religions do put a lot of shame around sex and play it down and it's not good and this and that. When you start to do that, then you're basically just suppressing yourself and repressing yourself. And then that's how we end up with dudes that are doing some kind of suspect things towards women or children or whatever, man. Or guys that aren't religious that are doing suspect and weird things towards women and children. All right, so let's logically break this down. Just straight logic. I want you to imagine yourself watching porn. Step outside yourself for a second and watch yourself. Imagine that. Close your eyes for a second, because I can still see it, bro. Like, me watching myself watch porn, I would feel a certain kind of way. If I'd feel like a loser, it looks pathetic, because it's like, dog, I got this device here. Where's my other phone? There it is. You're telling me I need this thing right here to relieve myself of my sexual desires. I'm watching pixels on a screen that aren't even real. There's a person on my screen that doesn't even know my name, doesn't know anything about me, and I'm getting off to that person. It's a bit pathetic, if you ask me, man. Is that how you want to live your life? Is that how you want to relieve yourself of your sexual desires instead of meeting and interacting with real women? How does that make any sense? We've literally come to that point. You'll be scrolling on the gram or whatever it is, and you see some cheeks and like you're gone. You're on the hub suddenly, doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really pathetic when you step outside yourself and you look at yourself, excuse me, doing that. Because of course there's a bit of shame around it, but it's like, dog, like you're telling me as a man I can't go out and meet women in real life? I can't? Are you serious? Really let that sink in for a second. Like I said, this video is for more of the introspective thinker that takes a deep dive within themselves. Most guys, they're not going to understand what I'm saying to them. But if you're a person that thinks, you'll get what I'm trying to tell you, man. Now, the next thing that I did to get rid of porn was, again, to do this right here. What I did was that I, again, stepped into my mind and I just told myself, if I use the same amount of drive and energy and time that I use on watching porn and I use it on my health, my purpose, on my mental, on building wealth, watch how life would change. The same amount of energy that you use on that porn, why not use it on yourself to build yourself and become better? Because I knew if I could work on my health, if I could work on my purpose, if I could work on my mental, if I could work on my wealth, all that builds self-confidence within myself because I trust myself now. I know that I can work on myself. If I can work on myself and become confident, then why should I have problems with women? Why would I have a problem approaching a woman? Why would I have a problem talking to them? What would make it difficult? If I build myself, I put in the work, I do everything, why would they be a problem? Why should I then be ashamed of walking up to a woman and telling her like, yo, I'm feeling you, I find you attractive, and so on and so forth? Why would then that be a problem? A lot of people use hours on the hub, bro. Hours just on the hub, watching and looking and trying to find the perfect scene and this and that. But if they use that same time on themselves to build themselves, to get to know themselves better and build a relationship with themselves, it'd be so much easier to build a relationship with a woman or women. It'd be so much easier to do because you know yourself, you trust yourself, you know what you want, you know what you're out after, you know your limits. You just become like this solid rock, bruh. And it seems like that's what a lot of women like. They like a solid rock, a dude that he's just calm and under control and knows what he wants. He has his shit in order. He has his priorities straight. And that's what seems like they like, man. I'm going to say that 99% of dudes that sit around and watch porn all day, they don't have their priorities straight. All they do is just lust over cheeks and they want that instant gratification. So they sit and tug their shit and then get that pleasure for 6 seconds. And then they go into the shame and then, you know, it kicks in again. They do it again. Trust me, I've been there before, bro. Like it's not something that I would ever go back to. Being in the position that I am in now, where I find it a lot easier to speak to women and approach them and get what I want from them, and they get what they want from me, so to speak. But it's so much more natural now. It just feels better. I don't have to hide anything. I'm just me. There's no mask. The mask isn't completely off. I'll admit that. I'm still working on that. Always working on that. But it just feels so much better. I'm in a much happier place. I don't have any shame built up. I can ask myself more questions about sex and things that, you know, I want out of it and things like that. Don't you want to get to that space too? Instead of that basic level of beat your meat, bust, and get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes really pathetic and really tiring to do all that stuff, man. Again, hey, let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with me or something, like, let me know, bro. Like, because I like to discuss these kind of things because I think it's really misunderstood. And like I said, we're all freaks, bro, at the end of the day. We're all freaks, both men and women. We're all freaks. It's just that for some reason we hide it. I can understand why we hide it, but yeah, man, we're all freaks. It's just a matter of accepting it and accepting that porn is a game. It's a game on your most basic need, or one of your most basic needs as a man, which is sex, man. So like, start to get over that shit. Like, just grow up, man. There's so many women out here that are dying to meet men like y'all with the qualities that y'all have and stuff. And just stop the nonsense, man. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.